veteran Super Sentai actor and also action director. And as you all know, he also played Gamera in Gamera 3. Welcome. Thank you. Thank you. So I'm going to ask him some questions to get started about his career as a suit actor, and then we'll take some time to ask your questions of him. And Karen here is going to translate for us. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so my first question is how he began acting as a stunt actor and a suit actor.
まあ自分が大体だったら、まあ、体を動かすことが好きだったので、まあ、それに適した職業なんかこういろいろこうエンターテインメントで見てたのに、まあ、テレビの中でいろいろそういうなんか動いたりとかしてやる仕事があるんで、まあ、それに憧れて。
Since he liked to move, so he was looking for a job and looking at the entertainment section, and then tokusatsu caught his eyes.
And what was the first company that he worked for doing that work as a stunt actor?
初めに入ったのは日本の大野県友会っていう仮面ライダーを担当してたアクションチーム。
The first action team was called Ono Kenyukai, who had a Kamen Rider.
They were doing Kamen Rider for the television, or were they doing Kamen Rider for like live events?
もう僕が入った時はその仮面ライダーもう終わってて。
When he joined the company, Kamen Rider series was over already.
で、2時間ドラマとか、
So 2-hour TV drama.
絡みの仕事、主役の人にこう、まあ、やられ役の仕事をまたいたりとかして。別で。
So when he joined, since Kamen Rider was over, so he had a 2-hour TV drama, and then his role was like being punched by other character.
So he was like not a suit actor, but like a double for another actor.
So yeah, he revealed his face when he did that job.
And what led to his first job as a suit actor?
初めはそこからまあ大体その仕事の一環で、そういう殴られ役をやったりとか、まあ人手が足んなくてその子供番組絡みの兵隊の中とかでまあなんつうのこう区切られてないんですよ仕事の中で。別にだからスーツアクターとかも区切りがない。
There are various jobs, so sometimes suit actor, sometimes being punched, revealing the face.
So 一番最初にそのスーツを着てやった仕事何だったか覚えてますか？
He's trying to remember the first suit actor gig. Super Sentai. Turbo Ranger. Soldier role.
Yeah, the bad guys, soldier. And when he got the job now working for Super Sentai, was this through Japan Action Club? Was he working for Japan Action Club, or was it another company? How was that? When he moved to Super Sentai, what was the company he was working for? Was it Japan Action Club? Was it another company? Like, was he freelance?
スーパー戦隊に初めてキャストされた時はそれはジャパンアクションクラブを通じてですか、それともフリーランスの時ですか？
ジャパンアクションクラブを通じてです。
はい、through Japan Action Club.
Japan Action Club. And then how did he, how and when did he eventually move over to Red Action Delivery? The Red Ranger kind of agency that's for the Red Ranger actors.
レッドレンジャーにすぐかけたその時の会社は
はいだから大野県友会で、そういう仕事で大野県友会の出身の先輩で独立っていうかしてその、ジャパンアクションクラブがその戦隊ものをやってる中でその下請けじゃないですけどそのレッドをずっとやってた方が
There was his senpai who used to do the red.
Yes.
It was who used to be in Ono Kenyukai action team.
でその方のところに、移籍というか
So he moved to his office.
So that actor, his senpai was Mr. Nibori.
Nibori. Yes, Mr. Nibori.
So everybody knows Mr. Nibori was the red hero in everything from part of Go Ranger all the way through Jetman, which is maybe about 15 years. He's the Red Ranger. So he was maybe the longest running.
そうですね、レッドを、多分一番初めのゴレンジャーから
Gorenja, from Gorenja
ジェット
to
マンっていう
Jetman.
なんで12、3年
12
ずっとレッ
or
ド
13 years. Red, 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 red.
So Nibori-san would be number one, but then he is next, maybe 9
Nibori さんの次に
or 10 years.
そうですその次に長い
9年か10年ぐらい。
僕は、キャラクターは11年やらせてもらってそのうちのレッドが9本
じゃあキャラクター
レッド以外のブルーとグリーンっていうのが1回あるんで1回ずつ
そうですか。じゃあレッドはRed was 9 years, but he did other
Also
character,
blue and
green,
green
blue.
sometimes, right?
So the total will be like 11 years.
So how did he get that first, his first Red Ranger role was Gala Ranger. How was he chosen for that?
どうやってキャストされていくさつとかご存知ですか？レッド
多分レッドに入ったのはその前の時点でレッドをやられてたジャパンアクションクラブの、高岩さんという方がいるんですけどその方が仮面ライダーが始まったんでその仮面ライダーの方に流れてて
So it
で
was
そ
in
こ
play.
の空いたレッドのポジションに入れていただいた
The previous Red Ranger moved to Kamen Rider.
To Kamen Rider.
So there's
Mr. Takaiba.
Takaiba-san. So Red Ranger was available and
But
he was cast.
By that time, Kamen Rider had begun again. So there was Kamen Rider and Super Sentai at the same time.
はい。
So-
同時にや
そうですね同時に、
られてたんですね。
はい
So the actor he's talking about, Seiji Takaiwa, once they started Kamen Rider again, he's the longest consecutive Kamen Rider suit actor, the main actor. And so then he took over as the Red Ranger from that point on. What are some of the challenges of being the red team leader in the stunt division?
やるにあたって難しかった。
動きとかキャラクターものはやっぱり姿勢とかがやっぱ大切なんでもう本当に衣装とかで体のラインがごまけないんでだから 100% 自分のスピードで、動いた時にちゃんとその姿勢がバランスよく取れると崩れる姿勢を見せないように、ヒーローとしてしっかり
So the posture is really important as a superhero, and then the suit is really fit, to his body, so he cannot slouch. So he always have to be careful to keep the good posture as a superhero.
How long does one one episode take, or is there several episodes filmed at the same time?
撮影期間なんですけど、1話につきどれくらいの時間に撮ったんでしょうか。
2話持ちで、1回撮ってって、で2話で大体10日くらい、1話で5日くらいですかね。
So they take 2 episodes, so taking 10 days, so for one episode for 5 days.
So
Sure.
two episodes at the same time, but it breaks down to one episode every 5 days. They're completed. And what is the process how they decide the special pose or special moves for each character? Does he have input? Does the action director have input? Is this decided by the regular director?
その例えばアクションポーズとかそれは監督のアイデアですか、
アクションのポーズとかも監督からの、アクション監督ですね、アクション監督からのイメージ、獣のようにとか、獣の中で、一番初めはガオレンジャーっていう獅子だったんで、低めにスタンスが低く、獣っぽい形のものは提示されて、でその中で、自分なりに自分のスタイルにアレンジして、でその監督が OK を出す。
So the director first suggests him the image of the postures, action pose as Garo Ranger. So it has to be really grounded in lower position. So the director gives him that request or image. Then he's going to arrange on his own way. And then if the director approves it, then it will be the movements or the posture or pose.
So you're using the example of Gao arrangement, but the director is thinking of the theme.
Right.
So that's going
As an animal.
Right. So the Gao Ranger, they're animals, so they have very low to the ground
Yes.
posture. And what about his? So he's working with another 4, sometimes more actors, all on the same team, plus the opposing, the villains, and for these action scenes. How does everybody work together? What's the process to choreograph this scene of fighting?
そうで、レンジャーが5人ぐらいがいて、それとあと悪役の方がいる人ね、その人とみんなで一緒にやるのを、当ててですけど、どうでしたか、やりやすかったとか、難しかった。
チームワークは、多分いいと思うんで、
Very good teamwork it was.
もう普段からもう一緒に行動してる。
Usually, they're all together all the time.
全然やりやすいですね。
So it wasn't hard to, incorporate each other.
コリオグラフはアクション監督から与えられてるんですか。
そうです。アクション監督から与えられてる。
Action director gives them the choreography.
Does a lot depend on the location, where they're filming and what is available, whether it's by water or, kind of like rocky surface or outside of the park. Does that dictate what the scene is like, the action scene is like?
やっぱり水のシーンとか山のそれを
そうですね。基本ラインは同じですよね。だからキャラクターによって攻撃的なキャラクターだったらもう、イケイケの姿勢の中で、その中で、水辺を使うんだったらその水しぶきが跳ねるような激しい絵として成り立つものを飛びかかって転がったりし、そのキャラクターに合わせつつの中、その場所で。
So the basic movement is the same, but yes, if it's in the water scene, they have to emphasize the water splashing. make it look more effective, so they come up with which is the most effective way, making use of the water scene, and then they change, arrange to that location.
Which character or series, Super Sentai series, that he played, the red character, is he most proud of? Which character or series? For example, maybe the entire theme came out how he pictured it. Which series or character is he most proud of from Super Sentai?
ではどれも毎年してもらって、その年ごとにやっぱり違った良さがあるので。
Each year it's different, and each year it's the great thing he discovers.
それがやっぱ豪快者っていうのが一番最終的に、その前の戦隊とかをこういろいろ出してやらせてもらったんで、一応自分の中では豪快者。
And what does he like about Daikaiju?
頭の方とかですね、こう一番頭の方でその豪快者がもう全部今までの歴史の戦隊のキャラクターを後ろに引き連れた絵があるんですけど。
There's a picture that he had the previous characters showing the history and the beginning of the scene or the episode of Gokaiger.
So yeah, Daikaiju brings back all of the previous characters, and the new team can use the power, depending on the situation. They can use the power of the different previous characters. So he likes that concept.
そうですね、もうこう1話見てもらえると分かるんですけどね、こう豪快者がいて、後ろにも全戦隊が今までのキャラクター全部並んで、そういう従えるわけじゃないですけど、その先頭に立たせてもらうとね、その歴史の中で一番これから始まるっていう感じの状況を自分の中でやらせてもらえたっていうのはすごいという。
He was very proud of being, the leader of, bringing all the previous characters.
Right.
So that's what he really likes it. Proud of. Mm-hmm.
And from those series that he was action director, which is he most proud of?
アクション監督になってから、一番力を入れたのは一番初めにゴーバスターズで、こっちではやってないと思うんですけど、スパイものの。
It was a Go-Buster.
Go-Buster.
He was not sure if it's running in America.
Go-Busters did not become Power Rangers. Didn't. So only certain series become Power Rangers. But the fans now the younger fan who likes Super Sentai, they can watch the Japanese version. So many fans have seen Go-Buster if they like Super Sentai.
だから一番初めがもうアクション監督1年目でゴーバスターズっていうのはやっぱり一番個人的には力が入りましたね。あとはその中でその経験を蓄積するのだったりとかで10年間やらせてもらって。
So the first thing he did, the Go-Buster as an action director, so he really put all his energy onto it. And then he directed, for 10 years, and then he was, more experienced.
At one time, a Super Sentai series would happen it would be broadcast in Japan, and 1 year later it was changed for Power Rangers. So they would see the version of Power Rangers here. But at that time of Daikaiju, and then next was Go Busters, they got behind. So maybe Go Busters, I don't recall Power Rangers very well, what exactly they used, but maybe Go Busters was used, but it was years later. It wasn't the 1 year to the next year, Super Sentai, and then the next year it's in the United States as Power Rangers. It's possible they used Go Busters, but I can't recall. It was several years after.
Go Ranger.
Go Busters, the series he's talking about. Some years there was no new Power Rangers, so it's not as consistent as the Japanese series. And sometimes they go far back, and maybe 5 years, and take a series and make it new. They add new actors. Has he seen anything of Power Rangers? The American version.
パワーレンジャーは、はい、見たことあります。はい。
He has,
And is there one in particular he likes, or is it not so interesting?
好きな、もしこれはいいなって思ったのとか、これちょっとつまんないなと思ったのとか、パワーレンジャーってあります。
でもデカレンジャーの刑事物のパワーレンジャーがあるんですけど、
Dika Ranger.
面白い。
He thought it was interesting. He
It was
enjoyed
like
it.
a Power Ranger SPD or something with speed. Yeah. So interesting. The fans here really loved that he was Gamera in the Gamera 3. There was the Heisei Gamera series, 3 films by the same director. And number 3 is thought of very highly. So how did he get that role as a kaiju actor? Much different than a Super Sentai.
ガメラのファンの方がとてもその一員さんで、考えます。とても大人気ですね。別に、親にキャストされました。
キャストで選ばれたのは、もともとガメラ3っていうのはその恐怖感を与えるためにちょっと小さめの設定だったんですけど、1、2って。
So the Gamera 1, 2 was
Very small.
very small, big, so that the impact of the 3 will be very big.
Right.
で、それで身長が高いのもありま
Because he was
して、
tall,
で担当する AAC というアクションチームがあるんですけども、
there's an action team called
そ
AAC.
このやっぱ身長が高い吉田、
Yoshida-san, who is
Yoshida.
tall. Yoshida Mizuho-san, who
吉田
was
瑞穂さん
tall.
が本当多分入る予定だったんですけ
So
ど、
he's supposed to be
ちょっ
selected,
と別の作品で、
but he was busy
He was
with
やっ
other
ぱりそこを担当することが難しくて、でそれで当時たまに手伝いとか一緒にやらせてもらってたチームっていうのつながりがあって、
So he
で
had a connection to the team. Then that's how he got it.
And is that the first time that he worked with AAC stunts and Mr. Ohashi? Mr. Ohashi is the enemy kaiju in Gamera. Is this the first time working together? Ohashi-san.
NC の大橋さんとは別にその前も20代前半の頃から後楽園のヒーローショーとかがあって、そこで一緒にやらせてもらってたっていうのがあるので。
He used to be with the event at Korakuen Hall in his late 20s. So he's already worked before for the live event.
Right. And what is, excuse me, what is some the difficulty or challenge of playing that kind of character, like instead of Super Sentai character?
ガメラの時っていうのもほとんど動きが制限されちゃうので、いやもう視界も本当にこう見えなくて、
Gamera's movement is really limited.
大体
It's hard to see.
右側とかでなんか作業してもなんか感じるんですけど、人の感じはでも見えない。
But you cannot see this area.
見ようとしてこう体を動かしちゃうと、もう体で他のブロックとか街壊しちゃうんで。
So if you try to look at the side, the details of film will destroy the other set. So you have to be really careful.
なかなかね、こう動かないように、来たら動かないようにこう、あとそのやる前にこうリハーサルで街とかを組まないで、だいたいリハーサルをやってから街を組んで、照明さんが入って、そこで改めてっていう感じなんで、ある程度の動線は決まるんで。
So before they're using the set, they rehearsed carefully, and then there's the lighting, adding the lighting. So he was careful not to go too much, and then because of the rehearsal, it was okay. Then they used the real
So
set.
he could figure out where to step during rehearsal. And who would come up with the movement for the kaiju?
そこはもう特撮監督ですね。
Yes, action director,
I read the
choreographer.
special effects director.
Yeah, special effect, tokusatsu director.
And he would decide what he wanted to see.
その特撮ディレクターがこういうふうにしたいからこう動けっていう指示を
そんな細かい指示はないんですけ
It's
ども、
not a small detail that he choreographed.
絵コンテでこういう状況の絵を作りたい。
So he's seen the storyboard
例えば渋谷の街で
Shibuya City.
ガメラが降りてきて、
Gamera is
Gyaos.
coming down.
ギャオスが飛んでるわけですよ。
Gyaos is flying.
で、それギャオスに対して火球とか吹くんですけど、その火球でも街が要は被害を被るんですけど、その被害を被ることはもう全然お構いなしにもギャオスに対してガンガン行くと。だからそれ細かいだからそういう指示はなくて、大まかにそういうふうに見えるような。
So by the storyboard, he knows that there's a fire brand, and keeps doing it. Doesn't mind, the city will be destroyed doing it.
So he's imagining what the movement he has to make, and they're going to add the fire after.
Yes.
So in the Shibuya scene, the destruction of the Shibuya scene after Gamera lands in Shibuya, was he and Mr. Ohashi, the two kaiju suit actors, they had an extra part as the victim, the people in the Shibuya area. It's him and Mr. Ohashi in the same scene.
被害者に出ました。
They have a little cameo.
Victims.
Yeah,
だ
victims.
からガメラが上から落ちてきて、ガーンなった時に電話ボックス、
In the telephone booth,
電話ボックスの中でガシャンと
he
災害
knocks
にある。
over. So he played that victim role.
He was also, so I think there's a scene where you see his face and you see Mr. Ohashi on the ground. And they're both very afraid of, this giant monster.
大橋さんもね、
Ohashi-san as well.
But there's also one guy who goes through a telephone booth, like through the glass of a telephone booth. That's also him.
はい、じゃあ、はい、そうですね。
So he did that stunt work as a regular person.
Yes.
That's interesting. I didn't know that. So let's take some questions from everybody. I hope you have some questions for Mr. Fukuzawa. Okay, right there.
Two small questions, but I wanted to know what were some of the hours like working on Super Sentai? If you had very long days sometimes, just if it was a grueling schedule. And the other was, did he ever sustain any serious injuries during any of his Super Sentai stunt work, or was it a pretty effective shoot?
に関して
You're talking about the Super Sentai. How long did it take to take?
Like, did he have any long work days? Were there a lot of hours in a day that he had to work?
すごい
長い時は朝6時に出発
Longest days started from 6 a.m.
ロケ地に
and
着
going
い
to
て
the location
で、撮影して、
to the shooting.
日が沈むまでやってでそこから、セットに帰ってきて
And then they come back to the studio
でそこからまたやって
and started the shooting again
でもう真夜中過ぎ一番長いのはその朝方まで
till the next morning when the longest day. So
ほぼ24時間って時はありました
almost 24 hours.
そうまだ昔
It was long time ago, so there's no union rule about hours.
So it's not just the long day, it's the whole day. Well done the entire day.
And the second question is about injury, right?
公にするといろいろ問題が起きる
あ、そうですか。
多分 昔
So it was a long time ago. It's perfected now. So in じゃあ怪我
怪我はやっぱ膝がどうしても靭帯っていう弱くなってきてずれたりとか膝の怪我はやっぱ
knee injuries happen a lot.
両足とも両足やってでやっぱ
It's too much stretched.
ロック膝がロックしてここから伸びなくなっちゃったりとか
Yeah. Oh, the joint got locked in. Yeah.
ここで伸びなくなっちゃうので
Oh.
それをこう自分でこう足をこうずらしながら引っかかってるところを外して
The joint in the knee,
Yes.
right? Also, but
He himself have to adjust.
そうですもうでも引っかかってる時が痛くてなんか気持ち悪い感じで。
Yeah.
でもうだんだん回数が多くなってきてで寝返り打ったら引っかかっちゃう時とか出てきて
So when it's really locked, it's uncomfortable, and when he's when he's sleeping, it feels, hurting and weird. But he got used to it.
Thank you for your sacrifice.
トレーニングまでしていただいてありがとうございます。
Another question.
As a kid, what was your favorite TV shows growing up? Like, did you watch Ultraman, Mirror Man, Kamen Rider, cartoons, whatever?
あスーパー戦隊のサンバルカンっていう
Super Sentai Sambarukan.
サンバルはい
He got inspired by that.
Sun Vulcan.
Sambalkan, sorry, Sambalkan. Super Sentai.
Another question.
How long did it take to put the Gamera costume on, and how many people had to help you?
ガメラコスチュームを着るのに何時間かかりますか？何人ヘルプしてくれました？
多分ヘルプは2人か3人くらいですね
2 or 3 people assisted.
で結構慣れてきても、10分近くはかかるんですかね
Even after you get used to it, but put it on, but it takes 10 minutes.
5分か慣れてきたら
And then gradually, like 5 minutes,
so
got
that's-
faster.
Wow.
すぐには頭中入ったらヘルメットで自分の頭固定して
First, he has to secure with the helmet.
カメラの顔と連動して上下
So Gamera's face, right, is here.
自分のとこう連動してるんで
Oh, it's connected.
僕がこう上向いたらカメラが上
So you look up, Gamera's face is up. So have to secure the
だから
helmet.
中入った時にまずそれをこう止めて調節して
When he inside the suit, he has to adjust first the around the head
で着て、背中ファスナー閉めてで今度ま
and
た
then zip it up.
甲羅があるんで、甲羅をこう
And there's a
きれいに
shell.
こう合わせながら、
Adjusting the shell as well.
まあ、それなりに時間かかって、
So that's why it took time.
で一回まあ、火の中でちょっと転んでしまい、
One time he fell down in the fire
渋谷の
in the Shibuya
渋谷が燃え
city
盛ってるとこをこう歩いていくと
fire scene and was walking.
火をこうガスのボンベがあるんですけど、あ
There's
そ
a
こで
gas
つま先が引っかかってその転んじゃったんです
He got tripped over and then he fell
燃えてる中、
when it was fires
そこでこう助けがバーッと来て、
and a lot of people helped to rescue
開
him
けてくれたんですけど、
and they opened it.
結
That's
構
so,
早く開けてくれましたね。
so they did it right away. So he was okay.
そうだから命がかかるとみんなちょっとね早いです。
When it's really dangerous, they make a quick action.
So I was at the Gamera 3 special effects filming for one day, and I saw the suit, and I saw him, I met him the first time, and that suit is, he goes into the back, and then the shell goes on. But you can tell him, when I saw the suit, it had a big hole in it, because if you know in the movie, Iris stabs right through Gamera, so they really made a hole in the suit. Was that dangerous for him? Big hole in both sides.
両方のサイズであんな感じ。
ありました確か
He remembers that.
に。多
Because
分
there were.
確か自分で、あれやったんじゃないですか。カメラ自体が。
The Gamera itself did it? Oh, he's not remembering.
In Kyoto Station,
Kyoto
Kyoto
Station.
Station battle,
京都ステーションの
Iris through
貫かれ、開きました。
It got penetrated. Now he remembers.
and the suit really had. This is not a, for example, close-up suit, and this is real. The suit had a big hole.
本物の
So how did he avoid that?
ス
Stabbing into the suit.
の方はどうやって
それはね貫通するところは寄り目なので、まあそこは入ってないです。
入ってない。
入ってないもう体の一部だけを撮影してるんで。で
It was close up
クローズアップ。だから、もう皮膚をこう貫く寄り目だけなんで、その時は入ってないです。でその後のこう貫かれた状態の時に入って演技をする。
To recap my Saturday.
So when it's close up, it doesn't.
He's not inside
Right.
when it's close up,
Right.
but they use the actual
After
suit.
the penetration, he
Then
acts.
he goes inside. I understand.
Yes.
Looks very painful. even the suit looks painful.
血が出てるから。
Because it was bleeding, it looked.
Yeah, and it looks like there's no room for an actor when that happens. It's like stabbing.
なんかあったら入ってないで
ありがたいことですね。
Yeah, he appreciates that it worked well.
So since the suit got punctured, how many Gamera suits were made for the movie?
I think it was just one full suit.
ガムラの手術って何回作られたんですか
2とかは分かんないですけど、3に関しては1体だけです。
Yeah, just one.
だから動くのと寄り目もそれで賄わなきゃいけないんで動きづらいんですよね。
There was
It's hard to move.
there was a full suit, but then there was like a half puppet. It was maybe this much of Gamera and like this tall. And
One
maybe
puppet.
they're used for like close up or something, or maybe it's like a hand puppet. Gao's in that movie is completely a hand puppet, and for the close up, and there's no Gao suit. It's just the top part with some wings, and there was a puppeteer, and he was moving But the other scenes with Gauss flying is, of course, CGI.
So I know that Kamio-san can't be here with you. So how did you and Naoko Kamio like first meet? Because you're obviously both amazing suit actors. Did you guys just meet through suit acting?
皆さんとやったんですけど、2人とも素晴らしい。
若い頃に後楽園野外劇場大きい劇場があってでそこのヒーローショーで一緒にやってて
They met at the hero show at the Korakuen Hall, the live event, and then that's how they met.
Have you guys like gotten to be in anything together? Like any Sentai?
まあ、でも現場が大体一緒だったんでもうそれ以降のテレビの、スーパー戦隊の、番組もずーっとやってますし僕もやってますし
So in the Super Sentai series, they worked together
ずっと仲一緒ですね
all the time. Yeah, they're working together.
Are they, Fukuzawa-san, Kamio-san, are they ever on the same team? You know, he's red or another color and she is white or pink. Were they ever the same series and same team?
スパイセンターで片方が白で片方がそういうの一緒のチームになる。
一緒のチームはないです
It didn't happen to be in the same team.
What would be an example of a Super Sentai series where they are both main characters? Maybe he is a hero and she is on the villain side or something.
で、例えば彼女がやっていて、自分は
そうですね向こうが悪役で僕がヒーローっていうのはありますね
Yeah, there was that he was superhero, and then she was villain
She was villain.
character.
So another question right there.
I've always wondered, how much communication is there between the director of the visual effects and the director for the overall film? Do they meet regularly to discuss what they want in a scene, or does the main film director just give notes to the visual effects director?
And is that for Super Sentai television? Excuse me. Super Sentai television or something like the Gamera Kaiju?
I suppose for the kaiju film specifically, but I was also curious overall, like if there's much communication between the two directors.
そうすると、どれくらいその話で、2つのカットの前で。
そうですねどうですかねもう撮影が始まる前くらいに打ち合わせしてあとはあまりないんじゃないですか
Probably he said before the shooting series started, they got together maybe, but
During
once
the
it started,
development.
yeah, they don't have
Then
the
they're too
meeting.
busy
Right.
because it's separate.
Yes.
I have a question. How much on Super Sentai is Bandai Company involved in the decision making? Like, do they sometimes change what they are doing because Bandai wants to sell some kind of product?
これまあどれくらい言っていいのか
I don't know how much he can talk about it in public.
まあある程度ありますね
Yes, there's
だから
some.
変身グッズとか
Yeah,
やっぱそれが出なきゃいけないので変身するときにいかにもそれをよりを拾うかとかあと変身ポーズでちゃんと見せるか
Show off the transformation pose so that it can
so
sell
will
well.
it be henshin item?
Henshin item,
So they
right?
can sell to children.
Right.
ロボットの合体パターン
So the robots.
Robot.
See?
Combination robot.
Yes. Right.
I was once told, so I can talk about it. I was once told by development person at Bandai, who was head of the Kaiju division, or at the time, in the late 90s, Kaiju toys were, vinyl figures were popular. And I believe that person now is the development. He's the development head of SH Monster Arts. He does that that area. But he told me kaiju movie is maybe just some suggestion, like Godzilla or Toho was deciding what they want to make, and then Bandai mostly goes along with it. And he told me Ultraman, at the time Ultraman series had begun again, Ultraman was about 50%. So Bandai would have many suggestions about what they want to sell. So if you recall, in the 90s when Ultraman had a comeback, the first series was Ultraman Tiga. And there was many ships, like 20 different vehicles. Whereas the previous Ultraman series just had like maybe, one main ship and then some tank or something that could drill through the ground, like some specialized vehicle. Ultraman Tiga had all these ships because Bandai wanted to sell many die-cast ships. And then he told me Super Sentai is 100% Bandai decides what they're going to make. But this was about the late 90s, so about, 25 to 28 years ago. So I don't know how it's changed, but I would think that Bandai still has a big say in what's made, especially with the Ultraman series and a Kamen Rider series and a Super Sentai series every year. Another question? Yeah.
Does the Gamera suit or any part of the Gamera suit still exist?
Yes. And I know. This shirt that I'm wearing, the shirt that I'm wearing is Ultra Q, but you can see DNA Tokusatsu exhibit. And my friends own the Gamera suit for they keep for the studio. You know them, you know their company, M1, Amichigo. And they make vinyl toys. They've been making vinyl figures for over 30 years. And they keep the suits for use by exhibit, so the studios don't have any room to keep this. M1 keeps it, and then the studios hire them to, go here and make an exhibit. So the current exhibit, DNA no Tokusatsu, the DNA of special effects, they show the Gamera suit. The Gamera 3 suit is a little bit damaged. It didn't hold up so well. The Gamera 2 suit is almost perfect. It looks perfect. At least 5 years ago when I was in Japan and I was at their place, I saw it, and it looked very good. Usually it's this area where the mouth has to move that it deteriorates very quickly. So I think the Gamera 3 suit has some deterioration around the mouth. Another question?
So last year for Dome Brothers, 2 of the warriors were all CGI, so I'm kind of curious to know what it was like to direct the action scenes with that in mind.
So Dome Brothers series, he's saying 2 of the characters were complete computer generated. So how was that to direct, be involved?
だからやっぱ CG、キャラクターが2体 CG なんですけど、モーションキャプチャーで現場で撮りながらっていう作業です。
So while using the motion capture,
So 1 or 2 actors are playing those roles?
そう
2 actors.
2 actors.
でやっぱりそこのセッティングまでの時間もかかるし、
It takes a long time for the setting up to the point.
あと、映った時にその CG のキャラクターが要は一番こう手前に来ちゃうわけです。
The character on the screen, it's really looks big. Looks front.
そうだからそれの位置関係を、動きの中で、うまいこと調節しながら、その時間の限られた1日の時間の中に、落とし込まなきゃいけないので、そういった意味もどれだけこうそこの情報量をギュッとこう短く。
So he needs to adjust those, distance or where to place with the limited time of shooting, which is like a 1 day.
And this is the other actors, or is it the set, or is part of the set CGI? What are the like parameters he has to work in for that kind of CGI character? For example, I saw one episode of the latest Sentai series. I'm sorry, what is his name? What's the name of the latest Sentai series? King Oger. And except for some scenes, the setting looks like 100% CGI. So the question he's asking about Don Brothers, is there some CGI in the set, or is it a complete set and they're just inserting CGI characters?
ドンブラザーズに関しては、セットはもう1個だけ作って、
As for Don Brother, they make one set
で、後の、状況は
The rest
合成、
is yes,
It's CGI.
合成 CG、あとはロケーション。
and then use some location,
だ
place.
から、どれくらいだっけ CG のあれは3割とか
Maybe
ぐらいですかね。
30% the CG.
30% is CG.
でただ今のキングオージャーに関してはもう 80% くらい多分 CG。
For the King Oja, it's 80%
80%
CG.
CG. Wow. Another question? We have time for a few more. Okay, again.
Before I ask the question, you played Ultraman, correct?
Did you play Ultraman?
ウルトラマンはやったことないです。1回だけなんだ昔にちゃんとした作品はないですけど、ウルトラマン対仮面ライダーっていう
Ultraman versus Kamen Rider.
まあいやその特別な映像作品があるんですけど、そこの時に一瞬だけちょっと、ワンカットやったことがあります。ウルトラマン。
So it was like a special project,
Right.
Ultraman versus
Kamen Rider.
Kamen Rider. So he was in Kamen Rider, just really briefly.
He was Kamen Rider, not Ultraman.
Ultraman.
And this was in the movie, or for a tie-in event, live tie-in event.
映画特別映像なんですね。3D の。
It's
多分
3D
映画ではあると
special.
思うんですけど。
He's not sure, probably movie.
Yeah, so Ultraman versus Kamen Rider is the beginning is like a retrospective of all Ultraman and Kamen Rider up to that time. And then there's a short ending, a short end scene where Ultraman is fighting giant heroes fighting kaiju, Daikaiju. And Kamen Rider is fighting a small, human-sized enemy. And the two monsters merge together. And so Kamen Rider and become one big. And so Kamen Rider and Ultraman, Kamen Rider becomes big. And so Kamen Rider and Ultraman are both fighting this monster. So he was Ultraman, that scene. It's maybe 10 minutes.
そうです。
Yes, he did.
So he was Ultraman.
So my question, Alex, I just wanted to play Ultraman. How much Ultraman and Gamera did you watch when you were playing the roles?
And so when he played Gamera in one movie and Ultraman in that sequence, did he watch any of the previous movies or TV shows to get some inspiration how to move as Gamera, how to move as Ultraman?
カメラをやっぱウルトラマンの前に映像を過去に見てみたりしました。
まあそれなりには多分研究はしてま
Well,
す。
yeah, he researched.
ガメラに関しては
As as for Gamera?
まあ一応その前の作品は見てたんで改めて動きというよりもその動物のなんですかあれをちょっと取り入れてほしいっていうその監督からの要望でクマとかそういうちょっと動物チックな感じでもうちょっと獣というか。
As for Gamera, the director requested him some animal type of movement. So he tried to, study like a bear's movement.
そうですね、ああいうちょっとクマも見たし、いろいろ動物見ましたね。見てなんか合いそうなものからちょっとチョイスして。
So he watched, different kind of animals and he picked, best movement from each animals.
So not necessarily a Gamera movie or a particular Gamera, but he studied real animals, how they move. And for Ultraman, was this something that he looked at?
ウルトラマンの場合はね、そんな研究するほどでもなかったですね。確か。だからやられて吹っ飛ぶだけだ。
So Ultraman part was small, he's getting beaten up and jumped away. So he didn't have to research a lot about it.
So we have time for one more. Somebody has a question. I'm going to pick that, but I'm going to go because I've had to really go to the toilet. So I'm going to go do that. And then after that, if you want to see Mr. Fukuzawa the rest of the show, he's going to be at his table. Please come and meet him. Your question.
Favorite
So about Gamera 3, you're asking what was his favorite, about his movie, what was his favorite scene?
favorite scene.
So he's asking two parts. One, both about Gamera 3. Why, or what was his favorite scene in his movie as Gamera? And then also from Gamera 1, 2, and 3 in the Heisei series, Gamera has the least amount of screen time. His Gamera, it is not on the screen as much as the first two movies. He's asking why. He knows why.
Oh. 初めの好きなシーンは最後イリスをやっつけて改めてヤオスが飛んできます。でそれに向かって歩いていくっていう立ち向かうガメラヤオスがそこですかね。まだこれから向かっていくっていう感じ。はい。
So it makes the audience think Gamera still keeps walking. So I thought its image was nice, beautiful. So that's his favorite scene.
であと3に関して多分短いと思うんですよ。1、2
So the 3 is
出演が。
the Gamera appearance is shorter as compared to 1 and 2.
多分それはガメラ自体をちょっと怖い存在に多分1と2っていうのはそのいわゆる人間の見方として多分捉えていた。
So in 1 and 2, Gamera was sort of, on the side of the human.
ただ3に関してはもうちょっと違う恐怖の対象という始まってるんで多分。
So they tried to make the Gamera as scary existence in the Gamera 3.
で結果的に助けてくれる存在なんですけど、
But after all, it will help the human.
ワン、ツーよりも、ちょっと、悪い悪じゃないですけど、なんかあんまりこう、なんですか、善人というか、そっち方向に持っていかなかった分、あんまり多くを見せちゃうと、いろいろ出てきちゃうので、それをなるべくちょっと少なくしてっていう。
In order to make it, special role, the less is more, so that make it look more mysterious and then powerful. That's why he thinks its screen time is shorter in Gamera 3. That's what he thinks. So, I think it's 3 o'clock, so we have the next guest.
Hey guys, I just was hopping in for Jim. It is 3 o'clock. I was just going to thank you guys for coming to this panel. I hope you guys enjoyed, and I hope you guys stay tuned for Kira Ohashi coming up next.